Hello Libra, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and today we are doing September readings. I've got the Curious Travels Tarot here, and as always, these are general tarot readings for a general Libra audience. Wow. So I invite you to check out the videos for all of your major astrological placements, your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. Sometimes one or the other is really resonant. Sometimes, there's a little bit of something in every video. And, wow, okay. I'm also going to pull a rune card. And I've also got the Moonology Oracle deck. So let's pull a rune card. Hagalaz. Work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. Okay, Libra. So the rune card we got was Hagalaz, which is also sort of the, here we go, the hail rune. It's like, it's sort of a hard or harsh force of nature. It's kind of like a testing or a trial. It's kind of almost like the Tower card. It's one of those where it's a force that is outside of your control, but it is a force that you can weather, and it gives you an opportunity to take a little time out. So the inherent advice with Hagalaz is to step back. You can't control this one. You can't control what is happening with this sort of force of nature. So you can step back. You can be in awe of the power of nature. That's one thing that I miss about living in Southern California, where I live now. I grew up in Minnesota, where we had a lot of electrical storms in the summer, and that's one thing I actually miss. Although I don't miss destructive, weather. I don't miss the destruction of, say, tornadoes. But I do miss that moment when you realize that Mother Nature could be so very powerful. It's the electrical storms that I used to witness when I grew up in Minnesota. It's just not. It's just something that only happened there. It's not something I've ever witnessed here in Southern California, and so just having that awareness that there is something larger and grander than you are that is at play outside of you. It can be humbling, but it also can give you a moment to step back, to accept that it's okay that you're not in control of all of, say, the forces of nature, or in control of everything. That there are the things that are in your control, and you can do what you can in those areas, and then you step back and you let Mother Nature, or you let the divine, or however you understand that piece, be in charge of what Mother Nature does, or however you understand that piece. And there are just times when you step back and you just let go and let God, or let Mother Nature do what Mother Nature does, right? So knowing when to own what you can do and let go when it's not yours to control, is the lesson with this particular card. And not be afraid of the power of Mother Nature, or not be afraid of that which you cannot control. That's what we see in the Moonology card here. Working through your fears, knowing that there are things, again, that you can control, that you are in charge of. And there are things that you have to leave to other people, that there are things that, sometimes when you throw your resume out into the void, you just have to trust that the right group or the right interviewer is going to find you, right? Or if you put your profile up on a dating app, let's say, you just have to trust that, the right person or persons will find you, and, whatever happens. Sometimes it can be intimidating to put yourself out there, whether it's for work or for dating or for any number of new experiences. But this card is encouraging. This card is encouraging you to go ahead and take that risk and try something new, or put yourself out there in a way you haven't done before. It's actually really related to the first card we have here, the Moon. The Moon can be related to working through your fears. Because in the tarot, the Moon is the card of, the lack of light. The Sun is the next card. And with the Sun, we have clarity. The Sun shows us where everything is. The Sun is a victory card. The Sun is knowledge, awareness, romance, love. We experience these positive things in part because we can see with the Sun. It shines its light, so we know where everything is. We know where we stand. All is illuminated. But before that, we have the Moon. And the Moon is darkness. The Moon is the lack of light. It's the lack of clarity. It is shadows. We don't know what is happening in the Moon. And even our own backyard can seem mysterious or scary when the light is not shining. In just the moonlight, the shadows fall in weird ways. We don't recognize things that might be familiar otherwise. And so there's this call in a couple of places in our reading here to slow down and not make any hasty decisions when there is a lack of light or a lack of clarity. Under the Moon, there's this atmosphere of doubt. But the good news is it's just a phase, right? Because the sun will rise again, and you'll be able to see even your backyard or wherever you find yourself when the sun rises again. You will have the clarity to make decisions, to trust yourself and those around you. So the Moon is paired with the Ten of Cups, which can indicate the ending and the beginning of like an emotional cycle. This could be something to do with a friend group or a friend in particular, or even a romantic relationship. It could be taking a relationship to the next level, or like a new cycle where perhaps you decide to, after being single for a while, it's time to get back on those dating apps, or taking a relationship to the next level, or maybe joining a group or association, like deciding, And maybe you haven't been as social lately as you were maybe 10 years ago, or at another phase in your life, and it's time to get social again. Maybe it's time to join a bowling league or a choir or something like that, or get back in touch with your college buddies or something. And so figuring out how to get more social or get back into the dating world could be causing this, could be causing doubts or insecurities, but it's just a phase. A lot of times, getting back in touch with our social life or figuring out how to make friends again as a grown-up, can cause some of those insecurities, but it just takes practice, right? So, or it could be that somebody or a group or, something along those lines reaches out to you, and you find yourself swimming in those waters, so to speak. For Librans who are of an artistic persuasion, this can be very much something like joining a theater group or a choir. The moon can very much have an artistic angle to it. Or this could also be about therapy or an 12-step group. For those of you who are so inclined, it could be something along those lines. In the next column, we have the Three of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles is the suit of our finances, career, resources. So this could very much be something along the lines of recognition at work and a new level of recognition at work. So for those of you who have a sort of a 9-to-5 situation or are still on the career path, this is, both of these cards, especially together, are kind of an amplified sign that there's some sort of recognition or maybe a promotion or something going on at work or in your career that is going to lead to maybe a raise, opportunities, a new role, a new title, corner office, something like that, more gigs, depending on how that works for you. If you're a student, this could certainly be something like being on the dean's list, getting an offer to be a teacher's assistant. It could be some sort of recognition in your sort of area of study, and some sort of promotion in that way. If you're not currently working, if you're retired, there still could be some sort of recognition that is tied to your area of expertise or your special skills, or you could just be sought after in regard to a special skill or area of strength, whether it be in a speaking engagement or in some sort of practical way, like recognized in some other club or association, like a book club, or maybe your skills are needed and validated, in your community. Now, one thing I will say is the Six of Pentacles does suggest sort of give and take in terms of even a wider audience. So again, there is this sense of being seen and being needed, and participation, gifts and promotional swag, and being invited. So you could get something like a speaking engagement with commission, or some sort of a gig. There's very much the sense of some sort of commission or promotion or, you know, exchange of gifts or monies that especially comes with this card. Now, in the next column, we have the Hanged One and the Two of Pentacles. So we see a little bit more of, well, let's put it this way. So the Hanged One is about getting an epiphany while you are in kind of an unusual location or vantage point, getting a new perspective, right? So there's a kind of a call here to look at something from a new point of view. The Two of Pentacles is often about juggling a day job with a part-time job, or a day job with going back to school, or having a sort of a side hustle or something along those lines. So you're really busy working. So there could be something that you're doing that, because you've been pulled out of like the regular sort of rat race or the regular 9 to 5, because you're running around maybe with a new crowd, or maybe because you're doing the day job and then you're hustling off to, you know, the choir or whatever other thing you're juggling. You're being exposed to other viewpoints or other people's kind of points of view. You're getting a new perspective on your life, or kind of maybe your art, or maybe where to go next. In some fashion, you're getting some kind of epiphany that is shaking things up a little bit in your world. In the final column here, we have the High Priestess and the Page of Swords. The High Priestess, of course, she's kind of a mentor. She's very spiritual. She's got a wonderful intuition, but she's got this secret knowledge that she has gained not just from books and traditional learning, but also from her own experiences in this world. And to me, her sort of wisdom seems to be coming a little bit too from what she's been juggling in September. So it seems to me you're giving yourself a real education in some of this extracurricular activity you may be doing in September. Now that's going to be different for different Librans. So how you're kind of spending your extracurricular time, whether it's, you know, those of you who may be going to school, maybe some of you who are, you know, trying the dating thing, however, you know, you are giving yourself these new experiences and working through your fears. You're giving yourself a real interesting education here and gaining some new wisdoms. The High Priestess is paired here with the Page of Swords, who is a character who is oftentimes tied with social media or writing. The High Priestess can also be associated with writing, like writing a book, or sometimes even teaching or editing. So that won't be true for all Librans, but there could be some of you that could be inspired to do some writing or start maybe a screenplay or a novel or something towards the end of the month. Take that as it resonates for you. But we have kind of a mixed bag here. We see, you know, there's a piece here about this force of nature that's causing some of you to maybe take a step back and reflect on what you can control and what you cannot control. There is some maybe doubt or hesitation about how some emotional Changes are happening with your relationships, new beginnings in some cases, maybe some promotion or recognition at the workplace that could come with money, or swag, let's call it. And there could be some juggling of work and education, or work and a side hustle, an epiphany and education, and maybe some writing project or social media polishing that comes near the end of the month. That is a lot, Libra, so eat your Wheaties, as they used to say. That looks like a very action-packed month, and knowing when to go and knowing when to hold back. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have enjoyed this reading or found it useful, I invite you to leave a comment or like, share, subscribe. In any case, please take good care of yourself. Until next time, bye for now.